just want you to go back where you came from. We was on a different vibe, we just on a different buzz. Just want you to go back where you came from. We was on a different vibe, we just
Hello,
on a different
and welcome
buzz.
to the
Hopped
very
off the
first
plane,
episode
yeah.
of the Julio and Ice podcast. I'm your humble and always handsome host, Julio Vasquez. My co-host and former teammate is Matthew Medeiros, and he's checking in from Westport, Massachusetts. Matty, how the hell are you?
I'm doing well, I wish I was in Westport right now, but I'm actually up in North Andover, and everything's going well.
Right.
I'm excited to be here and excited for the first episode.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Matty, before we get going, I want to make sure everyone knows about your background. I want everybody to know about those accolades. So don't mind if I do. You're from Westport, Massachusetts, so you obviously went to Westport High School. Your overall record from 4 years is 79-19. You scored 1,118 points. You have the record for most threes in a game, which was 11, and you shot a career best 59% from the three. Your senior year stats, you average about 24 points a game, 7 dimes, and you stole the ball about 3 times a game. Talk about a thief. You were the David Cohen's award winner, and you're the only player from Westport to win that award. And then you eventually won the Standard Time Player of the Year your senior year. At St. Joe's, where I met you, you have an overall record of 73-37. You scored 1,408 total career points. You made 267 threes throughout 4 years. You are a first team All-State, accolade winner. That's 2013 and 2014, and you're a first team All-League in the GNAC 2 years in a row, your junior and senior year. Your senior year, you averaged 18 points a game, and currently you are ranked second in the program for three-pointers made. Maddie, holy shit.
Well, it's always an uncomfortable feeling for me listening to all the accolades because you know me, who I'm a pretty humble guy, and what matters the most to me is that like you said, like the records, like, I was part of a winning team both in high school and in college. And, I was always taught, it's all about the team. And obviously if you can find success as a team, that's the most important. And the second part is, all the great relationships I've made from basketball. And obviously one of those is with you. And that's why we're doing this pod. But I think that to me is the most special thing about basketball is, the corny saying of, basketball is a vehicle and you got to use it. At the end of the day, it really is. Like there's so many avenues you can use basketball from. So
St. Joe's, man, what a special place, right?
Oh, best 4 years, man. It was a great time.
And for those listening for the first time, St. Joseph's College in Maine, Standish, Maine. Okay, baby, Whitesbridge Road.
If you don't know, don't ask.
Not University of St. Joseph's in Philly. Again, so the first time I met Maddie was during pickup. During my sophomore year, his freshman year, we had 13 new guys that year. 13. And so the first time I met Maddie, I think I was on one end of the floor. I think I just finished my game and he was playing on the other end. He caught it on the wing, lift fake, jab, cross jab, rip through, one dribble pull up, bottom of the net. And the shot wasn't the impressive part, Maddie. It was the way you jogged back, broad shoulders. You had a nice cutoff. You had nice crew length socks. I think you had some Kobe's on. I think you had some Kobe's on that day. And I just told myself, man, that's a guy. We got one. We got a hooper. And not to disrespect your class, because we also had some great guys in that class. Shout out Nick Jobin, James Philbrook, rest in peace, Clark Noonan. I don't want to miss anybody. Zumi Bazem, Sean McCloskey. Maddie, help me out here so I don't lose anybody.
Bruno was on
Bruno
that.
Cavallo. Come on,
Matt Lee, come on.
Matt Lee, shout out Matt Lee, South Portland. If we missed you, we forgot, man. But yeah, when I saw you do that, man, I was like, we got one coming in, and from that moment on, we kind of just clicked. We clicked, like you said. We built a big bond, and
well, we clicked because of you. I mean, like I think when you talk about that first day of pickup, I can remember it too. obviously you made me sound like I was really confident. Obviously I was really nervous because, you know, you're playing, you want to make a good impression of the guys you're about to be teammates with, and, you know, and feel like you belong. And I think you did a really good job of that. And I always appreciate that. You know, you kind of made me feel like I was, you know, I belonged, and I was welcomed. And, you know, I had, you know, other people up there like my roommate Joshy D, shout out, it's my dude.
Shout out Joshy D, man.
Joshy. Yeah. So
Joshy.
I mean, so I knew I had, you know, I already had friends, but you know, you want to be friends with the guys you're about to be teammates with. And honestly, in the first pickup, whether it was during it or after it, I just remember that you kind of made me feel welcome, and you came, you know, went out of your way to make me feel that way. So I always appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, we can keep shouting guys out. You know, Coach Sanicola kind of gave me that, that gem to say, hey, you know, you're the point guard, man. You got to make everyone feel good. And, you know, I cherish that role. And obviously, you know, it's carried on for 10 years. We've been friends for over 10 years. And, you know, I appreciate you. I appreciate this move we're doing right now with the podcast. And I appreciate everything you've done for me. Um, and we can do that all day long, man.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
can do that in every single
Good.
episode. We can talk about it all day long. But we got business today. We got some
Always.
business.
Yes.
So, you know, Maddie, I want to let the listeners know, you know, what our intentions are for the podcast. I know for me personally, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I was inspired by a lot of podcasts. JJ Redick, obviously, is a huge one. You know, Matt Barnes, All the Smoke. Duncan Robinson just came out with a new podcast. I even listen to like hip hop guys too, like Joe Budden and, you know, Noriega. And those guys kind of motivated me because, you know what? They're being themselves. They're talking about the things they want to talk about, and they got good guests. And I think that's the kind of you know, the just the blueprint that I think we should go with. We're going to have great guests, like I said, but we're going to have just genuine, raw, and uncut conversations. I want to share stories. And eventually, back to we were talking about those relationships, I want to build relationships through this thing. And I want to hope that one day, whatever we say on here, whatever motivational thing we got going on here, I hope it touches someone. You know, my goal is to eventually kind of get it out there to the young guys. You know, throw this on your way to school, throw this on your way to work, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
And get something from it. You know what I mean? Get a gem. You know, get something from it, and you know, I want to do that with my guy. You know, I want to do that with my guy.
It's the best. I to go off what you just said, I think, you know, for me, this is like an outlet. You know, I love talking hoops with you. So the fact that we can do it and other people can hear, I think is great. I think bringing on guests, using our, like, you know, using our relationships that we've made, you know, while we're in college, out of college, and just highlight people and have raw conversations, just real conversations. And, you know, I'm pretty big in the podcast world too, like listening to podcasts. And, you know, I think what we can provide is a good product. And, you know, especially during these times of COVID, where there's, you know, limited things you can do. Sometimes the best thing is like I do. I go for a walk. I'll just throw in a pod and I listen, and, you know, take it all in. And like you said, people have inspired us to kind of want to do our own. And, you know, I think we have a lot to say. And like I said, and highlight some pretty cool guests as well.
And we're not gonna be talking about the Celtics too much, man.
Hell no.
You know, I mean,
Because it's all about
you know,
the Knicks.
it's all about the Knicks. It's always gonna be about the Knicks, who right now, my boy, are in 7th place. We're 7th in the East.
Playoff,
Right? The
baby.
East, the easy East, but we're there. We're in 7th. We're looking good. You know, and no disrespect to the Celtics. I love the Celtics. I love Kemba. Tremont Waters, is he still in the roster? He's still in the
Yeah,
roster.
he's still on the roster. Connecticut
He's
product.
New Haven product, baby. But you know, I just want to kind of be very, you know, transparent. I want to talk about everybody. I want to talk about college basketball. I want to talk about what's going on in Massachusetts basketball, Connecticut basketball. What's the ins and outs of basketball, you know, going on nowadays. So
Yeah.
you for those who don't know, you used to do the 5 Out podcast with your guy Fryer, correct?
Yep, correct. Yeah, so we did the 5 out, and like you said, and kind of like you just said, we ain't gonna talk about the Celtics. And I think it was an awesome podcast. It was a great experience. Got to go in the WEI studio, all that kind of stuff. Saw the ins and outs of what's making a podcast. But what makes me excited about doing this podcast, you know, we're not pigeonholed in talking about one specific aspect of basketball. We're gonna talk about it all, and that's what I love about basketball. Is it in its entirety? You know, not just one team or whatever. You know,
Why you set the down screen, right? Like
correct.
why you're making the basket cut.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Why we're playing inside out. Hey, let's throw it in the post. Okay, you're gonna throw it in the post, but what are we gonna do off this post? You know what I mean? Are we gonna have a UCLA cut on the other side? Those are the things that kind of get lost in the game of basketball.
100%.
The game has changed, right? The game has changed.
The game
it's changed in
the
its
game has
entirety.
changed so much since we started playing. I know you're coaching at the high school level. I currently coach at the middle school level. I used to coach at the high school level, but now kind of focusing on just the middle school sports because I'm the AD at the school. But what I love, and I know me and you talk about this all the time, what I love about coaching middle school basketball is it's really just teaching the fundamentals. I love the fundamentals. Like, it's crazy how, to me, in this day and age, it's like every kid wants to learn how to go in between behind the back. It's like, you don't have to do that.
Tween.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that at all.
And it's all a facade too. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's a facade, and a lot of that too is it's taken over because of social media.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I think you said your comment, Maddie. I think your comment was it's the necessary evil, and social media. You got the real guys and then you got the phony guys. And again, we're not here to do that.
No.
I think we're here to kind of keep it as genuine as possible
and real,
and we're going to keep it 100. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like you said, you're an athletic director at the Pike School.
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure we're plugging everybody, so we're making sure we're plugging everybody that's here. You're on your way to get your master's. Also,
Already finished.
Got your master's.
Yes, sir.
You're the phys eds. So you're the phys ed teacher over there at Pike, right?
Yep.
Also the athletic director.
Correct. 2 roles.
Where's Pike at again?
Pike is in Andover, Mass.
It's in Andover, Mass. We want to make sure those guys know. We got to listen to it. Myself, currently, I'm at St. Paul Catholic in Bristol, Connecticut. I was actually put on by one of my good friends, Brendan Phelps. Brendan, shout out to Brendan. He is the assistant coach at Post University in Waterbury. That's Division II Post University. And I coach with his father right now, who's the head coach. So I'm currently the associate coach. Steve, his father's name is Steve Phelps. I also do individual and group trainings during the off season, just like you, Maddie, I'm pretty sure. And this summer, I'm going to be releasing my LLC, which is kind of it's going to be my own thing for the first time. It's going to be called Game Speed with Julio Vasquez. And, the workout in itself, it's in the name. Everything's going to be Game Speed. And again, we could touch on that later.
Oh, we could talk about that. But quick plug and hopeful future guests. I'll never forget this, working out in Portsmouth, Rhode Island, Chris Herron. And I'll never forget this because he said it to me, and I've said it to so many kids now. It's like, when you're doing a drill, he told me, if you're not going 100%, you might as well take off your shoes and go home and leave the gym, because you're not getting better. You got to go 100 every time. Any rep, do 100. If you got to take a break, but the reps got to be 100.
The reps got to be 100, man. And that's the emphasis of my stuff. Game speed, baby. I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to grab a cone. You don't need to put a foam roller behind your back and do a reverse layup. No, we're in there hour 15. We're getting reps and sets. You know what I mean? A whole bunch of reps and a whole bunch of sets in, man. And I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, Maddie, you're going to be a part of that. And I'm starting it from the ground up, man. Just like we're doing here with the pod, I'm starting it from the ground up. I didn't do it alone. Shout out to Anthony Ireland, who was he's one of my best friends. He's playing in Hungary right now. I think he's in his 8th professional career. LMU great. Scored 2,500 points, 500 assists, 500 rebounds. He also has his own LLC, the AI3 Leadership Academy, which I was a part of for about 5-6 years. And I learned a lot from him, kind of picking and molding everything that he was doing. And just a great friend, great mentor. But we decided to make sure that, we kind of make sure we have each other, our own thing going on. And, that's what I'm looking forward to in 2021, man. I'm 30, Maddie. I'm 30 and I'm ready. I don't want to say I'm 30 and flirty, but I'm 30. I'm 30 and I'm ready, man. I'm ready for changes. And like I said, man, this podcast is gonna be a really good thing, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, and before we wrap up this intro episode, just a couple things. We'll have a Twitter account. It's at Julio and Ice Pod. You can follow us there. You can follow us on the Instagram too. Like we said, social media, unnecessary evil, but we want to put our product out there to meet, all platforms. So you can follow us on Instagram, the Julio and Ice Pod. We'll be also on YouTube, same thing, Julio and Ice Pod. And if you have any questions or you want to give us some feedback, you can email us too at the Julio and Ice Pod at gmail.com.
How lucky am I, right? I'm just a talent, and I got
You
a guy
are the
like
talent.
Maddie. I got a guy like Maddie to kind of control all the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you're obviously you're the engine that makes this thing run, Maddie. I appreciate you, buddy. Let's get it popping. We're gonna get it popping, baby.
All right, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Hopped off the plane, yeah, flying where you came from. I won't even say no more. Text me on a busy night. Said you need to talk to me, but you won't say none. We just on a different vibe. Please don't make my phone buzz. I was in LA, I was writing all these thoughts down. Been a few months, so of course you wanna talk now. Really hope I never see your ass around town. I just want you to know, I know that you run your mouth. I got someone else that you don't know about.